cookie sheet pan, a pan for your finished product, a plastic serving dish or metal serving dish like this, durable wax paper. It doesn't have to necessarily be durable, but any type of wax paper will do. Paper towels, a knife, a strainer, and a little plate. Your cherries, of course, these are actually sweet cherries, but you can get any type of cherries that are in the bag. You want to make sure that the cherries, that you use the cherries that are in the bag and not in the jar. You can go to any supermarket and pick up a bag of cherries like this. The next thing you'll need is your dipping chocolate. It comes in milk chocolate and also dark chocolate, but you want to make sure that whatever brand you get, this brand is actually Baker's, but you want to make sure that if you get a different brand, you want to make sure that it says dipping chocolate. All right, let's get started. Okay, so what you're going to do now, you're going to wash your cherries. You want to make sure that the water is cool, because you don't want the water to be too hot. And you're just going to wash them. And you want to make sure that you check the cherries and make sure that they're not bruised, because you don't want to keep those if they are. So you wash them, just roll them around like this. Taking my hand and I'm just rolling them around. Right? And I use the plate. The reason why I use the plate is to keep the excess water from getting all over the place. So I'm going to take the rest of the cherries out of the bag. And I'm going to put them in here. So I'm washing the rest of the cherries. I'm just rolling them around. Making sure I get them nice and clean. Wash, wash. Alright. So our cherries are all washed. Just kind of shake this a little bit to get the rest of the water out. Just stick it on top of the plate. We're now going to dry the cherries. This step is really crucial because you want to make sure that the cherries are completely dry, because when it comes time to dipping them, you don't want them to be wet because it will make the chocolate clumpy. So you want to make sure that when you dry them, I have like 2 or 3 paper towels folded together. So I'm just going to dump the cherries onto the paper towel, and they may roll around a little bit, and just kind of spread them out so they each have their little own space on the paper towel. And after you do that, you take another layer of 2 or 3, I have 2 here, and just kind of pat. Right, so all of my cherries are pretty much, I don't see any more water, so the cherries are now dry. And you just kind of leave them on the paper towel. Just kind of slide it to the side. And your next step is melting the chocolate. This particular step is also crucial as well, because you don't want to put too much time on the chocolate and risk the chocolate burning. So this particular brand of chocolate says to start off with 30 seconds. And sometimes that may be all you need, depending on what type of microwave you have. And this is what the chocolate looks like before it's melted. It's kind of like in little chocolate chips. So I'm going to put it in the microwave. And I'm going to put it on for 30 seconds. The step with the knife is to help you stir the chocolate. I wouldn't recommend using a spoon because you don't want the chocolate to stick to the spoon. So that's why I use a knife instead of a spoon. And our chocolate is almost done. Okay. As you can see, the chocolate really didn't melt that much. And this may happen depending on what type of microwave you have. So now I'm going to put the chocolate on about 1 minute, but I'm going to take it out after 30 seconds to check it. So 1 minute, and after 30 seconds I'm going to take it out and I'm going to check it to see if it's ready. You can see the chocolate at the bottom is starting to melt, but the chocolate at the top is still not melted. So now my chocolate is nice and melted, and it's dipping time. You want to make sure that you stir the chocolate really well. Also, you want to make sure that it's well blended. Make sure you don't have any bumps or anything. And when you're done, it should be really smooth like that. Alright, so I have my pan with the wax paper on top. And you want to put the pan in the freezer for about 15 to 20 minutes before you start dipping the chocolate, because you want the pan nice and cold to help the chocolate form. Alright, so I'm finishing up stirring. I'm just going to lay my knife to the side. And now I'm going to dip my cherries like that. You want to make sure you cover as much of it as you can. And just kind of get the excess drizzle off. And then you're going to place it on the pan. And then you're going to do the next one. Just kind of roll it around a little bit. Right? Alright, so we're at the last few. And you may get a little chocolate on your hand, which is okay. So we're going to dip the last few. Just roll it around. Cover as much of it as you can. And if you're making more than this cookie sheet, you can always do the same step with the chocolate if you need more chocolate. If you need more than one. I wouldn't recommend putting both of the containers in there at the same time. So make sure you warm one container of chocolate and then the second one. Don't put both of them in there together. cover as much of it as you can. This makes for great social snack or just a snack just because. You can also do this with strawberries if you would like, or any other fruit that you would like to dip in chocolate. You do the same thing with the other fruits as well. Alright, so that is what they look like after you've dipped them in chocolate. We're going to put the pan back into the freezer now with the cherries on them, and you're going to leave them in there for about I would say like 15 to 20 minutes as well. The main thing is just making sure that the chocolate hardens, but you don't want the fruit to freeze. So you can check it after 15, and if the chocolate is completely hardened all over, then you can take it out. But if you see that it needs a little bit more time, you can leave it in there a little longer. But I wouldn't leave it in there over 20 minutes. And then after the cherries have after the chocolate has hardened over the cherries and you take them out, then you can put them in your decorative plate, plastic or the little tin plate to serve. And when the cherries are all done and they're all, the chocolate has hardened over them, this is what they look like. And then, the part that everyone loves, you get to taste one and see what it tastes like. Tastes pretty good. I hope that you enjoyed my video, and I hope that I taught you how to make something new. Thank you for watching, and this has been Chocolate Covered Cherries.